I remember the morning I bought that lottery ticket like it was yesterday. It was a cold Tuesday in January. I had just finished my shift at the diner. My feet ached, and my back screamed from hours on the line, but I still stopped by the corner store before heading home. Just one, I told the cashier with a smile. Lucky Tuesday? Maybe? He laughed. You and everyone else, Margaret. I scribbled my name on the back of the ticket, like always. Habit, you never know at home. I tucked it under the ceramic angel on the kitchen counter right where I always kept them. It wasn't about the money. I never really expected to win. It was a tiny thrill in my otherwise quiet, predictable life. But that week, everything would change. My son Brian had been living with me since his divorce. I welcomed him back with open arms. He was my only child, and I couldn't bear to see him struggle. I cooked his meals, did his laundry, and even let him have the master bedroom while I moved into the guest room. I told myself it was temporary. I believed, foolishly, that one day he'd get back on his feet and thank me. But as the months rolled on, he seemed more entitled, more distant, and then came the morning he burst into the house, waving a lottery ticket in the air, screaming, I won, I freaking won. I came out of the kitchen, wiping my hands on a dish towel. What are you talking about? The mega lotto, he shouted, his eyes wide. $12 million. I matched all the numbers. My heart skipped. Brian, are you sure? He shoved the ticket into my hands. Look, I checked 5 times. I scanned the numbers 6, 14, 29, 33, 41. 47, they were familiar. Familiar, my hand trembled slightly. Where did you find this? He looked away for a second. It was on the counter. Under that weird little angel statue. I figured you forgot about it. I opened my mouth to speak, but stopped. I had signed the back, my full name, Margaret E. Halpern, but he hadn't looked. He had no idea. And in that moment, I said nothing. He didn't even ask me how I was feeling. Within hours, he was on the phone with the lottery office scheduling the claim. He bragged to friends, told Facebook. He even popped a bottle of cheap champagne from the gas station. I watched quietly from the kitchen. He didn't mention me once. By the next day, everything changed. Brian came down the stairs and dropped a manila envelope on the table. Hey, so, listen, I've been thinking. I looked up from my crossword about my new life. I need to start fresh on my own. I frowned. Okay, what does that mean? He hesitated for half a second. It means I need the house. Blinked. What? I want to sell it. Use it as part of a real estate flip. Invest. Brian, this is my house, he shrugged. You can go live somewhere else. I'll give you enough for rent. 6 months or something. I stared at him. He couldn't even meet my eyes. You're kicking me out? I said, the words catching in my throat. Come on, Mom. It's not like that. You'll be fine. You're tough. You always figure stuff out. I stood, my voice low. I raised you in this house? Your father died in that room upstairs. You want me to walk away from all of it? He exhaled, frustrated. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. It's just business. Just business. That's what he called it? I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I just walked to my room, packed a suitcase, and left. I rented a small studio apartment on the edge of town. Tiny kitchen, creaky bed, bad plumbing, but it was mine. I didn't tell anyone about the ticket. Not even the clerk at the store remembered selling it to me. Brian, meanwhile, was all over the news. Local man wins $12 million jackpot. He posed with a giant check, flashing a smile like he'd worked for it. He bought a BMW, a Rolex, flew to Vegas. I watched quietly. Sipping my morning tea, a month later, I got a call from a woman named Deborah. She worked with the State Lottery Commission. Mrs. Halpern, I'm calling to verify some discrepancies on a recently claimed prize. My stomach fluttered. Your name was signed on the winning ticket, she said gently. I know, I replied. Do you have documentation of purchase? I do. We may need to schedule a meeting. I'm ready. That same night, I got a text from Brian. It was short, greater than hey. I need to ask you something. Can we talk? I didn't respond. Let him wait. Let him feel the silence I felt the day he threw me out. In that small studio apartment, surrounded by quiet and chipped paint. I felt something I hadn't in years. Power, not because of money, but because of the truth, and the truth was about to come out. To be continued in part 2, where the lottery office reveals who the true owner of the ticket is. As Brian spirals into lawsuits and debt, his mother is faced with a choice. Take back everything or teach her son a lesson far deeper than money. I arrived at the state lottery office in a worn gray cardigan and clean slacks. I didn't need to dress to impress. I had something better than appearances. Proof. The original receipt from the day. I bought the ticket, a copy of the signed ticket, and 2 witnesses from the corner store, the cashier, and an elderly woman named Dottie, who saw me sign it that morning. Deborah from the commission greeted me with a warm, neutral smile. She led me into a glass-walled conference room where a panel of officials sat with folders and printed photos in front of them. "Mrs. Halpern," she began, "we take ownership verification very seriously. This isn't about money, it's about truth. And after reviewing the evidence, including your signature, the store's CCTV footage, and your receipt, we've concluded the rightful winner of the $12 million prize is a pause. You." I didn't cry, I didn't cheer, I just exhaled. 4. The first time in weeks, as if I had been holding my breath this whole time. "What happens now?" I asked calmly. "Well," Deborah said, "Mr. Brian Halpern filed the claim under false ownership. It's a violation of lottery regulations and potentially fraud. We are prepared to pursue recovery of the funds. Do you want to proceed?" With formal charges, I looked at her for a long moment. 100 memories ran through my mind. His baby cries, his first steps the night. I stayed up with him when he had the flu. The man who once said, "I'll take care of you forever, Mom," and the man who later said, "You're just business now." "I don't want to press charges," I said quietly, "but I do want the funds redirected to the rightful winner." Deborah nodded. "We can freeze the remaining accounts immediately." "Please do." The news hit like a thunderclap 2 days later. Man loses $12 million. Prize to own mother after claim dispute, signature saves widow from son's betrayal. Lottery winner isn't who you think it is. Suddenly, I wasn't invisible anymore. Reporters knocked on my door. Radio stations called. Women from my church came with casseroles and teary eyes, but I kept quiet. I didn't bask in revenge or feed the headlines. I simply gave one statement. It wasn't about the money, it was about the truth, and sometimes the truth has to be enough. Brian, on the other hand, was drowning. His accounts were frozen. His new house, the one he bought for $2.3 million, was under lien. The BMW was repossessed, and the worst part? He never once called me. Not to apologize, not to scream, not even to beg. Just silence. Maybe he was ashamed, or maybe he still hadn't learned. Weeks passed. I met with a financial advisor and did something I never imagined I'd do. I opened a trust fund, not for Brian, but for young single mothers starting over. It was called Second Roots. I donated $2 million of the prize to launch the first housing unit, complete with daycare, job support, and education stipends. People thought I was crazy. "You're not keeping it?" "No, I'm using it." "Don't you want to show your son what he lost?" I smiled. He already knew, but one evening, a knock came at my door. I opened it slowly, and there he was, Brian. He looked thin, tired, worn down by the weight of his own choices. He held a small paper bag in one hand. "Hi," he said. I didn't reply. I waited. He shifted, avoiding my gaze. "I know I shouldn't be here still." I said nothing. I wanted to say I'm sorry for everything. I got greedy, arrogant. I thought money made me powerful, and I forgot what mattered. He handed me the bag. "I brought your angel statue, the one I took off the counter that day." I looked down at